Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I am talking about the value resorts at Walt Disney World. So I'm going to be doing a new series where I'm going to be posting about the different resort levels and go a little bit into each resort. I'll try and give prices I'll make sure to say, like, as of this date when I checked, this is what the Walt Disney World website said. And just give you some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and I'll mention the resorts that I've stayed at. And yeah, so let's get started. If I'm looking down here, it's because I have my list, because I want to give you guys the most, like, as much information as possible. So the value resorts are the lowest level of Disney resort hotels. They are on property, they are Disney owned, they are Disney's blank. So there are a lot of families that generally stay there because it's less expensive, and school groups tend to stay there. I know when I went with my school, we were supposed to stay at All Star Music, but it was double booked and we got bumped up to Caribbean Beach, which was even better. And it was my favorite resort at the time, so I loved it. They tend to be like the larger than life, like in your face Disney theming. So that's definitely something to note. I don't know when they were built. I will put that information in the coordinating blog post, which I will link below. So I'll try to let you know how old the hotels are. One of them is like less than 10 years old. And I'm going to go into the kind of room options that are at each resort as well. So the first kind of section of them is like the All-Stars. So there's Disney's All-Star Music, All-Star Movies, and All-Star Sports. Music was actually the first resort that I stayed at in my first trip to Walt Disney World. So it's all like music themed. There are different sections of like different buildings, and they're themed to different genres of music. So I remember we were in the country section, and there's a big pair of cowboy boots that are like 3 stories high. So at All-Star Music, looking at the All-Stars, the starting price is $110 per night as of June 8th, 2018 on the Walt Disney World website. They are all in the Animal Kingdom bus area, and All-Star Music has a standard room, a preferred room, and a family suite. And then each section kind of has like a smaller pool, and then there's the big main pool. The food court is called Intermissions Food Court, and then they have like a shop, an arcade, kind of all the basic things that Disney resorts have. The food court is just quick service. They do not have a sit-down restaurant. None of the value resorts have that. So the All-Stars, all of the options are like 2 double beds, except for the family suites, which have 1 queen bed, 1 twin sleeper chair, and 1 double-sized sleeper sofa. And All-Star Music is the only All-Star that has a family suite. So next is All-Star Movies, which I know it has like a Toy Story section, there's a 101 Dalmatians section, a Herbie I know there's Herbie there somewhere. I've never stayed there, but it's themed to movies. I believe the resorts were built in like the 80s or 90s, so it would be movies from like the 90s kind of back. So they have standard and preferred rooms. Preferred rooms refer to the location, so it just means it's closer to the main building, which means closer to the main pool, the food court, the arcade, the shop, the bus stops. And the food court is called the World Premiere Food Court. At All-Star Sports, this is where a lot of cheerleading groups stay. I think it's called Pop Warner is the thing that happens at the Wide World of Sports area, that a lot of cheerleaders tend to stay there. So sports has standard and preferred rooms as well, and the food court is called End Zone Food Court. At all of the values, the bus stops are at the main building, so you have to go there to get the bus, and if you do not have a preferred location room, that means that you can be walking very far after a day at the parks, getting dropped off at your hotel, and you still have to walk really far. So one of my suggestions is, if you can pay a little bit more for a preferred room, I think it's worth it. We've noticed a difference when we paid for that, and then also the accessible rooms tend to be in the preferred location, which is very nice. So next is Pop Century Resort. It is in the Wide World of Sports area. They have standard pool view, preferred, and so they have standard rooms, standard pool view rooms, and preferred pool rooms. Their rooms start at $127 per night, and then they have different configurations of rooms. So they have 2 double beds, 1 king, or 1 queen and 1 queen table bed. The food court is called Everything Pop, and the store is right there. They buildings are different decades, so it goes 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, I believe. I know they have like a big statue of like Baloo and Mowgli from the Jungle Book. There's Lady and the Tramp that are across like a courtyard. I know, like looking at each other, I know we've stayed in that area before. Pop Century, I think if you can pay a little bit more to stay there, it's in a better location than the All-Stars. The All-Stars, it takes a long time to get to Magic Kingdom, and if you have younger kids, that can be like a longer bus ride, which can be testing at the end of the day, and stuff like that. The Pop Century is a bit more local. It's very close to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Even though it's in the Wide World of Sports area, I find the location is a bit more central. And next is Art of Animation, which is actually across the bridge from Pop Century. Originally, it was supposed to be an expansion of Pop Century, and then I guess they came up with this idea for Art of Animation and scrapped that project. So Art of Animation is a little bit different. It is based on 4 different Disney films. There is Finding Nemo, Cars, Little Mermaid, and The Lion King. So each section is themed very heavily to that theme. The Finding Nemo, the Cars, and the Lion King are all family suites. So the suites would include 1 queen bed, 1 table bed, and 1 double-sized sleeper sofa. And like, go find some room tours when you're done watching this video, because the theming is just next level. And then the Little Mermaid section is a standard section, so it's cheaper. It starts at $155 per night, and then the suites start at $342 per night. So even Art of Animation, like the Little Mermaid, like it's a kind of like a value plus, or like moderate light, especially with the suites as well. I want to stay there. And I want to stay in the Little Mermaid rooms, because Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie, and like it would just make me feel like I was a kid again. Like, I wish that it existed when I was a kid, because we probably would have stayed there. The food court there is called Landscape of Flavors, and it is supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be like the best food court of the values, that you could check it out. And even if you're at Pop Century, you can walk over there, vice versa. And then one thing that is coming to Pop Century and Art of Animation is the gondola system. I can't remember what year that's supposed to come out, so I will put that down here somewhere. But it's going to take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios and just be a bonus transportation way of transportation to get to the different parks, instead of just relying on the buses. I have stayed at Pop Century at least 2 times, I think 3 times, and it was my favorite of the values. I've never stayed at Art of Animation, so I think maybe if I stayed there it would be my favorite. But the values, like, if you're going to the parks and you're going, like, you're park commando, like you're going from park open to park closed, the values are really, like, they're really nice. Like, for a place to sleep, the rooms are the smallest, but I think that makes sense. And for families, it's a really good option. I don't think I have any other notes. If you guys have any questions about the Disney Value Resorts, let me know in the comments below. I hope this gives you a good overview of the value level resorts, and stay tuned for the moderates coming up next. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.